Give me one moment making last night's donation. How are we doing? Good morning, Kate. Good morning, Abigail. Hey there, BKC. Hey there. Okay, I gotta try it. Ali Samari? There's no way I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Elise Marie? Sorry, I'm trying. Hey there, Kay. Hello, I'm Jesse Mary? Am I asking which bathroom I should use? Yes. Good morning, Lizzie. Thank you, Cameron. Appreciate you. Hello, Jules. Hello, Joanna B. Hello, Steph. Elise Marie. Okay, there we go. Hey, Adora and Catcher Voice. Hey, Adora. Is that the question? Which bathroom do I use? Yes, Gina. That is the question. All right. So a little announcement today, guys. We are going to be fundraising for this live. Tonight's live, I will not be fundraising. For tonight's live, I won't be fundraising. I will make up for that by fundraising again on Monday. Women's, you are allowed in our bathroom. It's just a bathroom. Fucking right. Thank you, Molly. Is the duo live tonight? Yes, it is. 7 p.m. Eastern. What are we raising funds for? We are raising funds to get a family out of Gaza. Shadi Alaikaluk and his family are trying to raise 30,000 euros so that they can get their family out of Gaza safely and that they can continue their education. So that is what we are. So, yeah, something was blowing on the mic. It's my fan. So we're raising money for a family in Gaza that are trapped right now. We're trying to get them enough money so that they can pay their way out. Why is this even a question we're having? I agree. Ridiculous question. Much better. I'm glad. How we doing over on Twitch? Depends on what's saving and whether it's going to properly. All right. I'm the one asking the question. Yes, I am. I belong in the women's restroom. It's respectful and hygienic. Good morning, pretty lady. How you doing? You're already looking good this morning. Thank you. I appreciate that. The fact that this is such a big issue is crazy to you. Me too. If you stand with the state of Israel, scroll on. If you stand with the people of Israel, who just wants to survive peacefully, that's fine. If you're for the general population, you want the population to be safe, great. I want everyone to be safe. I want Palestinians to be safe. I want Israelis to be safe. I want everyone to be safe. I do not support the genocide that Israel is committing. Use the women's. Fucking right, Chrissy. Makeup looks good, thank you. I cheated, I just touched up yesterday's. All right, y'all know what to do. Tap that screen, share the live. Tap until we get up. We have nobody in requests right now, and that's fine. Tap till we get up. Love the necklace, thank you. I am working on a new TikTok that I'll be uploading to my main hopefully today. The TikTok that I'm making is going to focus on AANHPI Heritage Month, which stands for Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander. This is the AANHPI Heritage Month, and we're trying to bring focus to AANHPI people. So I will be focusing on 3 people, one for each category, one Asian American, one Native Hawaiian, and one Pacific Islander. I already have the 2, the Asian American and the Native Hawaiian. I'm working on finding a good Pacific Islander that should be featured. And yeah, I'm going to be posting that video hopefully today. So guys, help celebrate AANHPI month. When do I get my main back? On the 14th.
No.
Hello, Cooper. How you doing?
Up.
Hello?
Hello?
How old are you, please?
28.
28. Fantastic. Which bathroom should I use?
Oh, the men's, because you're a man.
Why should I? Okay, so you say that I'm a man. I'm not. I'm a woman.
Well, you think you're a woman, but
No, I am.
Well, you're not. I can say that my skin color is blue, but it's not.
Right. What would objectively make your skin color blue?
If I dyed my skin blue, then I would be blue. But
okay, then you would be blue. You can make yourself blue by dyeing your skin blue.
Right, but you can't change your biology. You're a male. You can say you're a transgender woman, but you're not a woman. It's different. It's different.
Yeah, I'm a transgender woman, and I'm a woman. Both those are true at the same time.
No, you're a transgender woman. It's different than a biological female or a woman, as it has been known for years up until a few years ago.
So for what reason do I have to be in the men's?
Because it's dangerous for a biological male to use the same restroom as a biological female. And there's no reason for it.
Prove it.
Like men's and women's restrooms, it's called men's and women's, but it's referring to male and female. It's just called men's and women's.
Prove it, my guy. Prove it.
Prove what? That it's dangerous?
Prove that transgender women using the women's restroom is dangerous.
There doesn't need to be a study. A grown man that said that a grown male that claims that he's a woman can just walk into a women's restroom. That's proof right there. Is that okay? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that would be a case of a cisgender man doing a bad thing.
yeah, but what's stopping a cisgender man from saying they're a woman?
What's stopping them from?
They can just say that's my innate
what is stopping them from going into the women's restroom right now?
If a man walked into a women's restroom, one, society would not accept that unless he was in complete drag. Completely. I mean,
do you think that a man who would?
If I saw you in a women's restroom, I would ask you to leave.
Cooper, stop talking. Stop talking. Do you think that a man who intends to commit a crime would go into a restroom where he knows that he's going to be, if he knows that he's going to be seen, and if he thinks that restroom is packed with people, do you think he's going to go in? Hello, Normie.
I mean, that's case by case, right?
Sure, I mean, case by case, but typically, no. Typically, you're going to commit a crime if you think you can get away with it.
I would say that's case by case, and it's hard to decide if that's 100% true or not. But what I'm saying is,
I mean, typically people who commit crimes want to get away with it, right?
Typically, yeah.
Sure. So typically, if you're being watched and you're about to commit a crime, you're probably not going to do the thing until you feel like you're not being watched.
Right. Okay. So maybe let's take the danger, because I know you have your studies of what the rate is for attacks and stuff like that. I would say more so than danger is the uncomfortable aspect of it, and that it's now, I mean, in high school, like in locker rooms, you can say that you're transgender and you identify as a woman, and then go change in the women's locker room, and you're a high school student, and that's not just using the restroom, that's in a public space where you're like stripping down. I don't think that's appropriate, especially for high school students.
Yeah, I think the high school students should have private stalls so they don't have to change in front of each other.
So everyone should have a private stall?
Yes, if we're talking about changing rooms,
So because
yes,
the one
especially in
transgender-
high school, yes,
one
kids should
transgender
not be
student in
taking
high
off
school-
in front of each other.
So the one transgender student in the class, the school should then pay tens of thousands of dollars to re-outfit every single public school locker room to have.
Already, regardless of the existence of trans people, they should already have private changing stalls.
That hasn't been a problem. It's never been a problem. When I was in high school, there was no issue having a.
Never been a problem. You're trying to tell me that there's never been problems with any type of SA in locker rooms.
Oh no, there's definitely cases. There's definitely cases out there, but I was saying for the majority of the time, I would say the percentage of non-SA cases versus SA cases on a daily basis in a public school locker room, one outweighs the other substantially. So what I'm saying is it hasn't majority of the time been a problem in the past. Then we're expected to re-outfit every public school with stalls for each individual student because there's one transgender student where they want privacy. So, okay, screw it. Like taxpayers' dollars, we have to do everything for that. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think that kids that are changing, that are stripping down should have access to privacy.
Yeah, and there are. It's just there's not 50 of them. There's not 50 stalls.
Okay, great. So then, if that's what if we're only going to have a handful of stalls, then trans kids should be able to change in there too.
That's fine. Yeah, they just shouldn't expect like special treatment. I think
We're not asking for special treatment. We're asking for equal treatment.
you're asking for every public locker room to be outfitted with individual stalls. That's special treatment.
No, I was advocating for that generally, not because of trans people, because of kids. I don't think that kids should be changing in front of each other.
Oh, okay. Well, that's just a dumb idea then. Yeah.
Regardless, it's not the topic, Cooper.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, we're talking about bathrooms, and I would consider a locker room.
Yeah, you went to locker rooms.
A locker room has a toilet. Therefore,
y'all like to try to use this as a gotcha, but my answer's the same. Trans women belong in women's spaces. Trans men belong in men's spaces.
Is a locker room a bathroom?
There are probably bathrooms in locker rooms, I would imagine.
So, by association, a locker room would be a bathroom. So we are on topic.
No.
Okay.
But regardless, my stance is the same. Women's locker rooms are for women.
Just being
Men's
dumb.
locker rooms are for men. That includes cis women and trans women, cis men and trans men.
No, I disagree with that. I think men.
Okay, where do you think non-binary people should go to the bathroom?
Well, usually a non-binary individual. Oh no, sorry, that's intersex. No, non-binary. I don't know what that is. I don't know what they are. I don't know.
Non-binary person is not a man or a woman.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it just that's absurd. I mean, that's even more absurd than transgender woman. So
You're just transphobic. You're just extremely transphobic. Thank you for the finger.
maybe. Yeah, I would say like
Maybe.
not
You should be able
understanding.
to say no to that. You should be able to proudly say, no, I am not a transphobe.
Don't tone police me. I think non-binary, non-binary, saying you're neither a man or a woman is just like you need to figure your shit out. I don't know what that means.
They did. They figured their shit out, and they've realized that, hey, they're non-binary, and that's okay.
Are they a male or female, or no? They're neither of those either.
Not relevant.
Not relevant. So they're not a male or
It's not relevant to what your gender is.
Okay, that makes sense, right? They're not a male, female, man, or woman. So they're just
Their sex is not relevant to what their gender is.
I would call that a thing, though. I can't define it as a man or a woman. That's a thing. So if that's transphobic, then they're a thing. I don't know.
Denying the validity of non-binary people is incredibly transphobic. It is textbook transphobia.
Well, that's just denying reality. Saying that they're not a man or a woman, they're not real. Then they're not a thing. They're not real. If they're not a man or a woman, a male or a female, then they're not real. They don't exist. Like what? I don't know what else you want me to say.
Good morning, in Silico. How you doing?
Now you're bringing up 2v1 because you can't debate me solo. That's fine.
Cooper, the simple fact that somebody is non-binary doesn't mean that they cease to be human.
They don't identify as a human. They're not male, female, man, woman.
The fact that that person is denying you to stereotype them doesn't allow you to dehumanize them.
It surely does for me.
You don't need to fit people into boxes in order to acknowledge their humanity.
That's exactly what we need to do in society, or else society falls apart. If we don't characterize people into boxes, society ceases to exist. If there's no
Unless-
men, women, male, female, like this, it's for safety reasons.
But safety,
it's very
safety
important.
because of what, Cooper?
And it's actually awesome.
Cooper.
Yeah, go ahead.
Safety because of what?
I'm not going to run through everything I already discussed because you hopped on late. Like, this is what I'm saying.
Safety because of what?
No, you can repeat the question. I just answered your question with I'm not going to repeat myself because I already ran through what you hopped on late for. I'm saying that
Safety because of what?
you're not. I thought you were this professional doctor. You just keep repeating yourself like a 5-year-old.
How would you answer the question?
So what I'm saying.
Safety because of what, Cooper?
Okay, well, now we're at 5 times, and then 6 times is going to make you a 5-year-old. We can up it to 6-year-old.
Safety because of what, Cooper?
Because a man and a woman have very different strength, and if we allow women into men's sports, no, I'm answering your question. Don't interrupt me. If we allow women into men's sports and there's no distinguishing factor, okay, every woman that wants to play men's football, let's see what happens on the field. Like, are you joking? There's a difference. It's important.
Do you realize that the separation between men and women in sports existed because men couldn't cope with being beaten by women?
You're ridiculous. Okay, yeah. So let's.
No,
you are.
The only difference between me and you
can you tell me right now?
I studied the history of sports.
No, I answered your question. Now you answer mine. Is there a difference in physical strength between men and women?
It depends.
It depends. So, is there a overwhelming majority of men that are stronger than the overwhelming majority of women?
Remember
yes or no? It's a yes or no question.
Remember that we're talking about high performance athletes. We're not talking about the common man or the common woman.
Okay. In high performance athletes, is there a majority of men stronger than the majority of women?
It depends.
It's not a yes or no. Are you serious? You can't say yes or no?
Cooper, I'll give you a yes. Typically, males are stronger than females. Typically.
Okay.
It heavily depends. Because usually due to very stereotypical stuff,
You're deflecting.
Men tend to practice certain sports, and women tend to practice others.
Okay.
So if
you're let's take it sport by sport. Take it sport by sport.
If we're talking about strength,
stop interrupting.
Cooper, I'm gonna gently ask you to not talk over me. So, if we're gonna say choose, for example, gymnastics and choose female gymnastics, men will be horrible at those sports. Men will. And we're talking about certain sports that involve a lot of strength. So, what's your problem? Answering you with "it depends" is the most truthful answer one can give. It depends on the sport.
So, taking it sport by sport, you're hold on. I'm not going to go through every sport. That'd be a waste of everyone's time. If you compare sport to sport, men are stronger than women in every sport.
It depends.
I was asked to drop him, so I dropped him.
Like, for example, one example that I was going to give. I'm trying to remember the English name for this. Let me just check so the balance beam, for example, with female gymnastics. That's a sport that requires a whole lot of strength and requires a whole lot of precision. Because it's a sport in gymnastics that is usually practiced by women, women are far better at it than men. So it's answering "it depends" makes sense on this situation. It highly depends.
All right, next up. Everyone keep tapping the screen, share the live, please. 50 taps per person, and then take a tap break. Please remember that this is a fundraiser for a family in Palestine. Shadi Alaikaluk and his family are trying to leave Gaza safely and continue their education outside of Palestine. So 100% of the gifts that I receive for this live will be going to that family. 100% of the cash apps that I receive will be going to this family. And that is for this live. Tonight's live, I will not be fundraising for tonight's live. I will make up for that by fundraising on Monday.
So how's the fundraiser going?
Slow. They're trying to raise 30,000 euros. When I started fundraising for this family, they were at 800 euros. Let's see, what are we up to now? We're up to 1,385 euros. So we're making progress. It's very, very slow. But yeah.
It's this kind of fundraisers. For me, it's sad because it means that somebody's taking advantage, basically forcing these people to pay ungodly amounts of money.
The price to cross the border used to be 250 euros. During this conflict, it rose to 5,000 euros per person. 5,000 euros per person, where it used to be 250 per person.
It's so sad. These are human lives. Come on. Oh, well.
All right. Everyone tap that screen share alive, please. Next up.
Hello.
Hello, Caitlin. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right? How old are you, please?
I am 21, and I don't want to sound like an ass, but I low-key agree with Cooper with certain things. The reason why they diversified men and female sports is a simple factor of they were worried about injury rate.
Topic. This is a bathroom topic.
It started with sports and bathroom topics.
The previous topic conversation went into sports. I don't want to start with sports. Let's start with the bathrooms.
All right. Personally, I believe that trans women and men should have their own distinct bathrooms from the cisgender, and a cisgender should not even be
harmful to trans people.
They them should be able to use the family bathroom because originally that's what that was designed for.
Okay, Caitlin, can I ask you a few questions?
Oh, yes, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, what's the function of a public bathroom?
The function of a public bathroom is for men, women, and any gender to feel safe using the bathroom or not using the bathroom.
No, what's the function specifically? Why do public bathrooms exist?
Obviously to wash your hands and do private business.
Okay, so do you think it's healthy to hold on for a long time to do your private business, so your excretions? Do you think that's healthy?
I mean, what do you mean by that? And why would you be taking a very long time in the bathroom?
No. Hold on. So to not go to a bathroom for a long time when you feel that you need to go. Like let's imagine yourself. Let's imagine you really want to go to a bathroom, but you really cannot for 6 hours. Do you think that's healthy?
I mean, genuinely, like my fiance just said to me, every day we work because you're not allowed to leave off the floor like that due to times
but
and
that's a toxic thing. That's a bad thing. Your company sucks.
Do you think that's healthy? Do you think that's healthy for your bladder? That's healthy for your intestines to hold on for so long?
Well, not necessarily, but
in retrospect, it depends on how hard your determination is for hard work and success.
Your determination for hard work and success.
If you want to put the hard work in to put yourself in the lines of success, you got to work hard, make your name out there, and put yourself in a position where you can move up and do more and better in your life. But
are you trying to say? Sorry, one second, Insilka. Are you trying to say that you avoid going to the bathroom? That you think that people should avoid going to the bathroom to be more successful?
No, that's what you just said. The bathroom.
I'm misunderstanding you then.
At any time and point, whether what time you choose to go to the bathroom or do whatever you need to do is on you. That is your decision. If you want to hold it, hold it. If
Now,
you don't,
please
you
answer
don't.
Insilico's question.
My question is strictly about health. It's strictly about what happens with your organs if you hold on for too long after you need to go.
Yes.
Do you think that forcing yourself to hold on for hours on end is healthy for your organs?
No, it's not healthy. It can cause harm to your body if you
Okay.
are
Wait,
causing
I have my
harm
answer.
to yourself by doing it.
I have my answer.
But it is
Yes,
a choice.
I have the answer that I need. So, the situation here is by determining, by trying
Thank you
to,
so much for the donation. Sorry.
it's okay, Adora. By trying to prevent someone to go to the bathroom to do what's healthy to do and get out, the safest way possible is actively harming them health-wise. And this is on the basic assumption that excreting oneself, we're talking about basically bodily functions, is a healthy activity that needs to happen when your body claims to do it. And it's
I wasn't
unhealthy.
trying to be rude muting for a second. He don't really go live on TikTok, so I was giving him a fast little rundown to not get me banned really fast because my account sometimes almost gets banned.
Look,
There we go.
I don't got a filter on my mouth, so I tend to cuss a lot. But since we're in this, I'm going to be respectful and not do so.
Oh, okay. Did you guys get anything Insilico was saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we completely understood.
This is a situation. That space exists for people to do what they need to do as humans and stay healthy. And it doesn't exist for anything else besides that. And actively denying people that necessity is actively harming them. Do you think that's fair? Because the situation here, I'm not ignoring that there are bad people everywhere, but statistically speaking, there are more cis bad people than trans bad people.
I would call bullshit.
Can I say something though?
Sorry. Hold on, Andrew. I'm cutting you off.
Caitlin, that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
If you call BS on what I said, I would like you to provide the statistics that refute what I've just said.
In all retrospect, it's a 50-50 ratio. Before we were ever cis people and trans people were ever trans people, they were cis first. And also the simple factor, I do know of some people that are trans men that dress up to just be trans men to stare at little girls and stuff like that, and that is a really
you need to provide evidence for what you have just said, because that's a very, very, very bad accusation towards people that you don't know. And for the people saying that I made a claim and I can back it up. If you go to the CDC data, 36% of transgender teenagers are more at risk of suffering harm in public bathrooms. Then the numbers go down to 22% with cisgender people, especially cisgender teenagers. So, yes, transgender people in bathrooms are more at risk. Just at CDC data.
But in all reality, what's the biggest thing? Personal experience and what you've learned in your life and what the people around you in your life have experienced too, to guide you for your future.
Wait, hold on, Andrew.
You're going.
Does it still sound like I'm whispering in the mic? I just saw that. That's why.
What does my experience tells me? if I was going by my experience, not a single cisgender man would enter a public bathroom.
Okay,
There would be no public bathrooms for cisgender men.
Okay, can I say this for a second? All reality, it's male, it's female, it's transgender, and it's whatever you want to be.
No,
And
no. I'm gonna have to.
That's just.
I'm gonna have to correct you. Gender and sex are different, and calling a woman a female is dehumanizing, and it sets a blurry background between girls.
Okay, I'm not trying to start a fight or nothing, but what are you born as exactly? Male or female? That's what you come out as.
No, there's a significant part of the human population that is born intersex. There's a significant part of the human population that is born intersex.
All right, could you repeat what you said? Your mic got a little quiet.
If you don't talk over me, you can hear me, but that's okay.
I wasn't
There's a
talking.
significant part of the human population that is born intersex. There's inclusively situations when you can have an XY human that was developed as a female and is
You're
able to
talking
get
about
pregnant.
the genetic disability of when you're born both sexes. That's what you.
The situation, Caitlin and her companion, the situation is that these people are human. They're variants of the human experience. The fact that they exist means that you cannot ignore them without basically being an ableist. So, no.
Personally, me, I'll be honest. I believe that if with people being both sexes basically born, I believe that should be the they them gender, because that should be who should be able to genuinely pick.
Your gender is not automatically aligned to your sex.
Well, necessarily,
Intersex people can be men and women.
I mean,
Intersex
yes,
can be non-binary.
but that's because they were born both sexes.
What?
Genuinely, they them people should be the heterosexual people because they didn't really get a choice.
Non-binary people should be heterosexual?
Caitlin, you are mixing sexual orientation with gender identity with sex. These are three different things. Let's not mix them up, okay?
Okay, no disrespect to all this. I'm not this.
That always leads to disrespect. Whatever you're about to say is going to be disrespectful.
No, not when it comes to experience, because I don't know normally about all this stuff. I just have my personal opinion on it because I'm straight. I prefer to live my life how I live it. People can live their life how they want to. And that's the life of creation.
You're telling us that we can't.
So why do you have a problem with a
You
woman?
can't do anything you want to do to your life and with your personal body and for your future. Nobody has said anything saying you can't be whatever you want to be. I'm just
stranger in the bathroom is using the bathroom for the same reasons that you are.
And more.
I'm trying to hear what she's trying to ask.
Sorry, hun, I didn't hear that.
That stranger in the bathroom is using the bathroom for the same reasons as you are. So why do you feel entitled to bother that person? Because they are just doing the same. They're just doing the same thing as you are in a
There's a
public
difference between letting someone know that you need to use the restroom and a difference between being obnoxious and doing extra. There's a big difference between the differences.
I mean, I will say this. I'm not going to bother anyone that's doing their business, that's just doing the business, as they say. Now, if I see something that, yes, I feel like is a red flag in the bathroom, I will address it if I get that uncomfortable, if you understand what I'm physically trying to say there. I don't care who uses the bathroom, but yes, I'm not going to sit here and lie, and it's because of my trauma when I admit it like this, and this is nothing against anyone. I do get nervous around guys. I always have. It is just what happened with my father growing up and etc. Also, yes, I would be really nervous if I seen another person that was not in the same gender category as me in the bathroom, but also they were transitioning and actually meant
They
that
are
is
in the
not what
same
I
gender
have.
category. A transgender person is from the gender they identify with. So, this transitioning or not transitioning, they are the gender they identify with. And Caitlin, I think that from your own experience and from your own trauma perspective, you might realize that transgender people, especially transgender girls and transgender women, are also very, very, very at risk of
Okay,
severe stuff, and they are as afraid as you are because there are so many legislation being done basically to simply erasing them from existence and denying
Personally,
their humanity.
I think the only reason that I've ever had a problem, and I'll be honest with the LGBT community, is with the people, and this is me being straightforward, is the people that are seriously not about transitioning, if that makes sense, and they're just using it as a ploy. Those are the people that I've always had a problem with. I don't have a problem with trans people. Yes, I get nervous because I'm worried that in my head, because of some of the things I've seen, they don't actually are about it. They don't want to they don't want to transition or and stuff. And I understand the factor people don't have the money for them. So
Can you ask Adora why common reasons for somebody to not be able to transition? Because if you know, you might realize why some of these situations are so hard for transgender people.
Well, here's our personal experience with it. We have a cousin that's with a transgender, and they're both trans.
Transgender person.
They're trans, but neither of them do anything they're supposed to. They just stay.
No, you're supposed to. There's no you're supposed to.
Well, what they say they're supposed to do is
What's right for them.
transitioning, and none of them do. They stay as they are. They talk as
If that's what's right for them, good for them. If it's because they don't have access, well, that sucks. We got to keep working on it. We got to make sure that people have access to what they need.
That's not what I'm saying. When it comes to our cousin and their significant other, they make the choice not to do anything, and they just sit around and mope all day.
I think it's funny that some of the people think I'm insecure and I'm reading the comments. No, I'm reading the comments to make.
Stop reading comments. Stop reading comments. Stop reading comments.
I'm trying to make sure I answer everyone's question too.
No.
That's the whole point of a live, is to have the community.
This is my live. I decide what the point of it is, and the point is for you to have a conversation with me and my guest.
The situation here is that you do not accuse, like, for example, somebody that is a diabetic and has difficulty affording insulin from being lazy.
Both my grandmothers were diabetics and my older brother's a diabetic. I know everything about diabetes. Diabetes and LGBTQ are not the same thing. I will debate that shit.
Caitlin, did you even heard my question? Did you even heard what I was saying?
Adios. All right.
I'm one of those days that I'm zen, completely zen. But yeah.
We need a few minutes, guys. I'm going to take a little break. I'll probably be back soon, but give me a little bit of time.
See you in a bit, Adora. Bye-bye.
Bye. If they're a P3DO.
Right. And that's the thing. You don't know. And that's my only concern.
Right.
That's
So,
it.
like, but that's the same of anyone. We don't know if any given man is a P3DO. We don't know if any given woman is a P3DO. We just don't know. And
Yeah, and there's no way to find out, like
exactly.
right then and there.
Yeah, not on the spot. No.
Right. So, like I said,
if you see someone doing something weird, protect yourself.
and then there you go. If you see someone doing weird, and they're a trans woman in a women's bathroom, and you see something doing weird, then I have a problem with that. Otherwise, I think you should be able to use whatever bathroom you're comfortable in.
All right. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you.
You have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, hot dog. I had to mute you. The background noise was bad.
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. You only know once they act on it or admit it. Exactly. Yeah. Or if they're on the registry, you can look them up, but that's not exactly something that's like super easy to do on the fly. Yeah. How you doing today, hot dog? What made me change my mind about fundraising tonight? I saw the comments. I read the comments. You guys made good points. Yeah. The fundraiser's happening tonight. All right. The problem with registries is sex workers are put on them as well. Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing that's happening. Yeah, fuck that. All right. Everyone tap that screen, share the live, please. We have nobody in requests at the moment. So tap until we have op. Which bathroom do I belong in, guys? Which bathroom do I belong in? The women's or the men's? 100% of the gifts that I received today are going to a family in Palestine who is trying to escape Gaza. So if you think that I belong in the women's restroom, send that rose. If you think I belong in the men's restroom, send that TikTok. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. We should at least be able to come together and help this family in Gaza out. So if you are opposition, if you think that I belong in the men's restroom, send that TikTok because it's going to the family in Gaza. Lil Turbs, that's changed. Tonight's live will be a fundraiser live. I will be raising funds tonight for the family. Thank you for the roses, everyone. Thank you, Rainbow. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Cardio Echo. Cool name. Do I know what would happen if I went to Palestine? Bad things. Going to a war zone, not good. Even if there wasn't a war zone, Palestine is not famous for being super pro-LGBT. That doesn't mean that they deserve to suffer. What is happening? There were like little cat paws. What was that? What was the cat paws? I don't know what that was. Thank you, Cassie, for the roses.
Sorry, as soon as I came up, they came in for meds.
It's all good. If you feel a dog, if you feel like you're a dog, are you a dog? No, you're a human. Thank you for the galaxy, Kay. Thank you so much. Thank you for the galaxy. Let's see, what are we up to? That's another $7. We're up to $58 for this live. I try to raise $100 per live. We're up to $58 for this live. We got a long ways to go. We got to raise 30,000 euros. Oh, there it is. That's what it was. Thank you. Thank you for the little pinch face. Thank you. That's absolutely adorable. Maybe that should be what my gift goal. Where is that one? TikTok is so bad at making user interfaces. Oh, that's adorable. They have so many adorable new gifts. Thank you so much for the roses. Why have we made all this gender stuff in the world so complicated? Right, it should be really simple. We should just trust the people in front of us. When someone says that they're a woman, they're a woman. When someone says they're a man, they're a man. Well, thank you for the cat paws. So why... Someone said some bees. That was interesting. So why don't you believe me I'm a dog? Because the criteria for being a dog is very, very different than the criteria for being a human. Thank you for the hand heart. Thank you so much. Oh, geez. Well, okay, that's 15. Okay, so we're up to 66. We're up to $66, guys. Thank you for the rosas. Thank you for the hand hearts. Guys, we may not be getting much up, but we are getting donations for this family in Palestine. So that is absolutely amazing. Thank you. The math struggle is so real, right? Right? Thank you for the roses, Veronica. Thank you, KT Girl 120. What if they made trans bathrooms for trans people? Would that make you upset? Yes, that would be problematic. Making bathrooms just for transgender people would increase violence to transgender people because transphobia is a thing that exists. There are employers who don't want trans employees. There are landlords that don't want transgender tenants. There are people who just want to cause harm to transgender people. So forcing us to use a restroom that's just for transgender people would out us, and that is a bad thing. How is my phone already melting? Ooh, we got a Cash App. Awesome. Thank you so much, Steph, for the Palestine donation. Thank you so much. $20. Damn, guys, we are so close to our goal. We've barely been live today. We're so close to our goal. Everything I say has no logic. Queen V, come on up and talk. Let's talk. You got enough followers. Come on up. Doesn't have to be a fight. We can talk. How many ones are in the Cash App name? Adora 1111. Adora followed by 4 ones. Adora, you're so nice. Thank you. Not talking about this in front of your kids is not appropriate. I got news for you. Transgender kids exist, and transgender kids also should be able to use the restrooms of their identity. When do I get my main back? On the 14th? 100 is a teensy goal for the amount you make on these lives. I don't know where you're getting that from. That information is way wrong. I disagree. We don't need to confuse kids anymore. Yeah, we should stop confusing kids. Transgender kids know who they are, and we should stop trying to convince transgender kids that they don't know who they are. Fantastic. We got another Cash App, another $5 Cash App, guys. We're up to $91, not including gifts. I'll update gifts in just a moment.
Adora, did you have to do this thing in your nose and nasal sanitizer when you were in the hospital?
No, I didn't have to do that. Sounds awful.
From getting MRSA.
So we got $76 in Cash App. So that's our baseline. Our baseline here is 76. Yep. All right. 76. We're up to 96. $4 away from our goal, guys. $4 away from the goal. We're not going to stop when we hit our goal, but we're $4 away from it. TikTok, can't you see all the gifts coming in right now? Send some people my way. Thank you for the money gun. Thank you so much. Thank you for the like pop. I can do the like pop. I can't do the money gun, but I can do the like pop gun. Takes it a second. There we go. Takes it a second to warm up. All right, I think we got another Cash App. We did. All right, we met the goal. $10 donation. Thank you so much. We're up to $106, guys. We hit this live's goal. We may not be having many conversations, but I'm not gonna end or reset while we're raising money. So I'll do my little pitch again. We are raising money for Shadi Alaikaluk's family to get out of Gaza. They need $5,000 per person to get out because the price of the border is just ridiculous. Last I've heard, the border is completely closed, but what I've heard is that it's not supposed to be a permanent closure. It's supposed to open up again at some point. So as long, we're going to continue to try to raise money for these families as long as we can. Border open, border closed, whatever. We're going to continue to try to raise money to get these families out of Gaza. Yeah, we're going to do our best to do our part. Thank you, Bree. I appreciate you. I'll try to reset maybe in a bit. For now, I do like the gifts are coming in, the donations are coming in. I'm not gonna do a reset while the donations are coming in. All right, we got another Cash App. Thank you guys. Oops. $5. Every little bit counts, guys. It doesn't matter if it's a single rose. Doesn't matter if it's $100 Cash App. It all makes a difference. It all adds up. So thank you, every single one of you. The duo live is going to be Mel and I taking on opposition. It's going to be Halloween themed. One of our topics is going to be something along the lines of why are you afraid of trans kids or something like that. And then the other one is going to be why are you afraid of something else. I don't know. That's happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, we have a guest request. Buzzy!
Hello, beautiful people. How
Buzzy,
are you
how's it
doing?
going?
It's been so long since I've talked to you. Hot dog.
I'm so happy to have you up here. We're
I'm
raising
so
money
happy
for
to be here.
Palestine and doing pretty well today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're cute as a button as always. Hi, everybody in the comment section.
See, did I get any Venmos that I haven't seen? No Venmos. Okay. Yeah, there's no opposition, but the gifts are coming in, so I'm not gonna reset while we're doing all right for this family.
Hello.
Hot dog, you're so cute. You're just so cute. Ooh, Sherry, I just thought about it. Seeing your face made me think about this, Sherry. Sherry, did you guys make a trip to Glossier in LA? Did you guys make it there? If not, it's okay. I'll cry silently. But did you guys make it to Glossier?
Leah, you said, Adora, do you believe bathrooms are a lot more than in and out? Sure, that it can be quite a process going into the restroom.
Hot dog. So you know how Phoenix was in California?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to send Phoenix on a mission to Glossier because I wanted those cell phone keychain mirrors and also that luggage tag with the little airplane on it.
All right, guys, let's do a little reset. I'm going to come back with a new topic. Let's do a reset.
Okay, we'll be back. Hot dog, we'll talk about this in a second.
What happened to the last live? We just did a reset. Kevin, come on up. Let's talk. Why? Why am I completely... I'm completely correct. Never mind. I thought you said incorrect, Kevin. You're completely correct. Of course. Of course. Never mind. I misunderstood what you said. My bad. I love this topic because people think this is a slur. Right? They do. They think it is, and it's just not. Sophie. How many followers you got? You got enough. Come on up. Did my followers glitch yesterday for... I don't know.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
Excuse me, I'm 60. Excuse me, I'm sick. 60.
60. Fantastic. All right. What are your thoughts on the topic?
I think that there's a group of people who want to manipulate the language, and I just don't agree with it. Cis is used as a slur many times towards women. Well, when we disagree, they'll go on and say, oh, you're a cis, whether you like it or not. You're a cis, and we've asked many times. Because we don't choose that language. That language was put on us by the transgender community.
The word cis was coined by a cisgender woman.
The word cis was coined by Magnus Hirschfeld, who was a gay man who fought for gay men's right during the Civil War. And he also, let me finish.
He may have coined either cissexual or cisvestite, but...
cisgender. He coined cisgender because he was fighting for women, men who, at that time, they were called, I don't want to use that word, but it's the T word. And before him, another gentleman coined it, came up with it in the early 1900s. It's a term used in chemistry for this side, and it's for molecules, molecular equations.
It's a prefix. It can be used for any number of things.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But we didn't ask for it. And when we say we don't want it, what we normally hear is, until trans women are called women, you will be called cis. That doesn't even make sense. That is trying to control the narrative.
Whether we're called women or not. And we're going to be trans whether you call us women or not.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so what is your concern about the word cis?
I'm not concerned. I just came up for a few minutes. I can't stay long. You asked me to come up, and it's just not a term I use or will never use.
Can you tell me what cisgender means?
Yeah, it means that according to you guys, or I don't mean you guys, trans community, it's the side we associate with. So I am a woman. I am a woman, and I don't like the word identify. And because I am a woman and I see myself as a woman and not a transsexual person, I am cis.
Right, because your sex sign of birth, your gender identity align, you are therefore cisgender.
Yeah, that's a word coined by, again, the transgender community. That word didn't, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes
No,
it is.
it's not. It was actually
Transgender.
it
Do you
was
know
a
the history of
cisgender
the
woman.
word?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it was-
tried that hot dog.
Oh, yeah, it was a cisgender woman named Dana DeFosse.
And no, it was not her. You see, you don't know the history
Actually,
of
no, okay, so, yeah, I actually do know the history of the word. It was first used, well, the words, the prefix cis was first used in reference to gender in a book called,
No, it wasn't.
Des Ges Martin, Sexual
That
Events.
isn't correct.
I'm sorry, I was still talking.
But you're
it was-
incorrect. And
I'm not wrong,
correcting you.
actually.
You are wrong. It is a term
In
used in
1914.
chemistry. Yes, by the first man who coined it from a chemistry term. Like the word woke is being used in the way that it was not meant to be used.
Okay,
Yeah, let's not bring the word woke into this.
Well, I'm just using
anyway,
that as an
I was still
example.
talking, Sophie, because you're wrong. No, you're not
you're
wrong.
wrong.
It wasn't first used in reference to chemistry. It wasn't
Yes,
even
it
first
was.
used. No, it was first
I love
used
this.
as a preposition.
Well, I'm a science teacher.
Well, I don't care. Just because you're a science teacher
Because it's
doesn't mean you're...
misinformation. That's the problem.
Okay.
Misinformation.
Sophie, can you restate what you said just so I can make sure that I heard you correctly?
That cis comes from a chemistry term.
Cis does come from a scientific term, yes.
Right.
Chemistry, molecular chemistries. Equations.
Molecular chemistry.
On this side, yes.
You mean organic chemistry?
Yeah, I would say organic chemistry, but it wasn't originally used for chemistry. It was for a specific purpose, but it is a scientific term.
So, Sophie, if you would let me fucking speak, instead of throwing your title in there, which is just an appeal to authority, cis was first a Latin Sophie, shut up.
You shut up.
Okay, so it was first used as a Latin preposition referring to alignment. So please, before you start throwing out, you're wrong, this is misinformation, or maybe listen to what I'm saying. It was first used in reference to, the first time it was used in reference to gender was in 1914. It doesn't matter that it was first used, and it wasn't even first used for chemistry either. Something could be a cisatlantic flight, cislunar, on the same side of the moon. Cismontan would be on the same side of a mountain, like transmontan is on an opposite side of a mountain.
That is correct. So cis is a scientific word that means on the side of, specifically. That's what it means. It means on the side of. Mm-hmm. Cis was used in science. Cis was used in science specifically to illustrate that something was on the side of something. Cisgender literally means on the side of. Like, I don't understand why this is an argument, Sophie. I'm trying to figure that out. I was trying to figure out why this was an argument before, but I'm trying to figure that out. What is the purpose of you making that statement? Is there another purpose, or did you specifically want to talk about the Latin prefix?
There's nothing I want to talk about. He asked me why I didn't like cis, and I told him, that's it. And I know thousands of women, well, let me not exaggerate, hundreds of women who agree with me.
I mean, there's nothing to disagree with. It is a scientific Latin prefix that means on the side of.
No, there is something to disagree with, because this terminology just recently came out to put women in.
It's not recent terminology. Yeah. It's been around. It is. It's not recent terminology. It's quite literally been around since.
Yeah, but it hasn't been used towards women until recently.
It has since the 80s.
That's not long. 90s. First it was the 90s. And no one has heard of that term.
People have heard of it.
And Sophie both got violations. Wow.
That's
I don't know why Hot Dog got a violation. No idea at all.
And to say people haven't heard of the term, they've been using the Latin prefix as the Latin prefix since science used it as a Latin prefix. It has always meant the same thing. I don't understand why we're arguing about words. Right. And the word is being used for what it's used for. It just means on the side of. To say that it's used against an attack for women, no, it's not. If you know that someone is transgender, that would mean that the opposite of being transgender is cisgender. Cis means on the side of. If you are not a transgender individual, you are a cisgender person.
It's that simple, and we're only really going to talk about that in very, very specific situations.
And like, if I'm not mistaken, it started being used in the late 80s, and they officially inducted it in like the 90s, the early 90s, maybe early to mid 90s. But like, it's not, and even now that we're like having this conversation, like, it's not used as an attack on people. Like it's a descriptor. It's telling you something. It's an indicator of something. And most people don't use the term cisgender in regular conversation unless you are at your doctor's office or you're in mental health counseling. For whatever reason, like it's a descriptor. Whether you like it or not, you have descriptors. They are words that are used to describe you. I don't understand how this is a point of contention where words have meaning. Whether you like the meaning or not, a word has a meaning.
Mm-hmm. Rosie, I think you had a question for Hot Dog earlier?
Yes, I did. I'm so glad that we were talking about this. Hot Dog, listen. I think that trying to send Phoenix to Glossier is when I peaked. Personally, because I realized that I'm not going to be able to get to California anytime soon, and my schedule is too jam-packed for me to do that. I was initially going to fly to California with Phoenix for the purposes of getting to Glossier for that daggone keychain cell phone with the little mirror and that luggage tag with the airplane and the little globe. You know what? Here's a PSA. 393 of you are in here. Does somebody live in California, and can you get to Glossier?
Me, I live in California.
God damn it. I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
And I was supposed to move to LA yesterday, officially.
God damn it. Listen, there's a thing.
I will get you the Glossier stuff. And
Hear me out. I need 2 cell phones and a luggage. I would get it myself, but I can't get to California. I want it so bad. I want it so bad.
All right, next up.
Sorry, I was having a moment. I'm sorry.
No problem.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Hot Dog, I love that I know you.
Hello, Manbag45.
What's going on? I disagree with you.
How old are you?
39.
39. Fantastic. All right. Why do you disagree?
We don't need descriptors. We don't need to be called sus.
Why do we not need descriptors?
We, not you, we.
What?
Do you know what an adjective is?
Yeah, we don't need that.
Hot Dog, your face.
Do you know what
men and women?
Those are
female, male. We don't need cis.
Male and female are adjectives. They are descriptors.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
We don't need cis.
Why do
I need to be a cis? Why do I need to be a cis man when I can just be a man?
Because it differentiates you from a trans man.
No, being cisgender doesn't stop you from being a man.
No, it doesn't. A trans man is just a trans man. That's it. There's nothing besides.
Well, I disagree with you, so I differentiate, and I'm not going to.
You should have the descriptors if you want to be different. Not the people who have the descriptors, just what they are.
We use descriptors in society in everyday language. Descriptors are all in.
But you don't have to label everybody else.
Society uses them in everyday language. There is not a sentence that does not use a descriptor. All sentences have descriptors. The wildest argument to be made is to just be like, we don't need adjectives, which is why I cackled. There is an adjective in literally every sentence you make. It is part of sentence structure. It is a part of syntax. And nuh-uh is crazy. To just be like nuh-uh is wild. So if you don't want to use descriptors, you find a way within your everyday syntax to not use descriptors. As a matter of fact, I challenge you right now, formulate a sentence without using descriptors.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not going off on a different tangent with you. I'm just gonna
descriptors.
No, you said
when
you came in here and said that we don't need adjectives. Okay, so formulate a sentence without using adjectives.
That adjective. I don't need that.
Oh well,
adjective
you have
called
it.
cis.
It describes. Oh well, it
No, I
describes
don't.
you.
I don't.
You're not the
I
one
don't align
using
with
the
that view.
adjective. You're not the one using the adjective unless you're going to use that to talk about yourself. However, the other people that are formulating sentences,
I don't have
if they are
anything in question, though.
if you are in a space of which they are describing you and they choose to use that adjective as a descriptor because it is applicable, that's fine. You don't have to use it in your language. Other people around you may.
But it's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
If you're choosing to not use that word,
Yes, it
that's
is.
a
It's
choice that
irrelevant.
you can make. It's not irrelevant because words have meanings and it means something very specific. This is a
Words
wild
do have
argument.
meanings. That's why when someone says "you're a man" to me, there's no other adjective needed.
I
I'm
mean,
not
You can
different.
feel,
I'm
you
not
can
trans.
feel your feelings, but that doesn't mean it's true for the person you're talking to. And just as you can feel your feelings, they can feel their feelings.
and this is literally the
No, I
only
feel
type
like
of space. This is literally the only type of space where cis is really ever used. This and medicine and psychology.
Yeah, but why
That's
should it be? What's
Because
wrong
it's
with just being trans?
it's
Because it
necessary for
differentiates.
treatment. It's necessary for treatment. It's necessary.
What do you mean?
For treatment?
But
When
what
you are
treatment?
treating people for certain diagnoses, you need to know whether or not they are cisgender or transgender so that they are being treated appropriately. That is why.
Okay, so when you put that down on your little piece of paper to get treated, put trans in front of it, because when I go in, I don't put anything else in front of it. I don't put cis male or cis anything.
doesn't matter.
I just say man or woman. There should be no other
That's a
descriptor.
choice that you're making. That's a choice that you're making. At least on the medical documents that I fill out and that the people that I work with fill out, it says male or female. And then it asks about your gender identity. So I don't know, if you don't have that option on your paperwork, then don't. And if you choose that you see that option and you want to ignore it, then ignore it. You can feel your feelings. That's fine. We've already discussed this.
So, I mean, when I filled out the application for the injectable HIV medication, I had to put gender and sex, and that is for study purposes, right? I mean, if you don't want to, if you want to get mad at a piece of paper, you do you, boo-boo. But for research purposes, they put male, female, intersex, or man, woman, non-binary, other.
No such thing as non-binary.
Okay. according to who?
I mean, again, you can feel your feelings. If you feel
what's
like
non-binary
if you feel like non-binary doesn't exist, you can feel your feelings and you have the ability to do so. That is specific to you and not to everybody else.
Because they all side to a female or a male side. There's no such thing as a non-binary.
Right. I am male and I am non-binary. Just because I'm male doesn't mean
Understanding identity.
I am non-binary.
So sexual, like your sex and your identity don't always align. There's an understanding there for most people. Well, against the sciences, there's an understanding. If you don't feel that way, then that's up to you. However, the sciences disagree.
No, that's a feeling.
No,
That's
that
your
would
feeling.
be your feeling. Science tells you that sex and
Your
gender is
feeling.
different.
No, that's your
No,
feeling.
science has definitions.
Words
that
have
tell us
definitions that you guys
that
don't like
sex
to
and
look
gender
at.
are different. Science tells you that sex and gender identity are different.
No, science does
They
not
also
tell you that. That's
that
a lie.
they run. Yeah, they do. Science specifically tells you that sex and gender identity
Oh, really?
run
Where's that science at?
run
Where's that science
parallel.
at? Show me the
Well,
one that
let's
shows
pull
that
up the
genders are different
definition.
than sex.
Let's pull up the definition. Give me a second.
Because when I look it up, it just says adult human female, adult human male, and there's no difference.
Oh, yeah, so you have to click other, or you have to click see more. Maybe don't ignore the rest
So
of
the first
definitions.
definition just contradicts the rest of the definition?
Nope. A woman
Yeah, pretty much.
is an adult human female. No, it doesn't. It actually adds to it. The other
And
definitions
then
add
underneath
to
that, it says lady, reproductive organs of a female.
Okay.
Right? I'm wrong though, right?
Where does it say that?
Because
Where
I
does it say
believe
that?
in the actual
Doesn't say
definition.
that. No,
It literally does.
you're wrong because it doesn't say that. You're not like a woman is still defined as an adult human female, but that doesn't mean there aren't other definitions of the word that don't contradict it. Also, the definition of gender, since we're talking about words having meaning, is the male or the female sex, especially when related to social or cultural differences rather than biological ones, or a host of other gender identities that don't correspond with the typical ideas of male or female. And you can look that up. Maybe I missed a couple words or got a couple words wrong. But
Adora, may I have the big
Female.
screen, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
no,
for
the
your services.
the definition of gender is not adult human female.
Woman, adult, human, female.
Okay, I was defining the
Man,
word gender.
adult, human, male.
I was defining the word gender.
I don't care about what somebody wrote.
So
on Google.
Gender refers to the characteristics of women, men, girls, and boys that are socially constructed. This includes normal behaviors
not
and
the
roles
definition I pull up.
associated with male. I don't know what to tell
I'm
you
talking
because this is the definition that's
I don't-
presented. And then the
Because
other one.
that's
Yeah, man bag. That's by
why don't you pull up the
And
actual?
then the other one, it says there's two definitions under sex. The first one says sexual activity including specific sexual intercourse. Number two says either of the two main categories, male or female, in which humans and most other living things are divided on the basis of their reproductive functions, adults of both sexes. The definition of sex does not say anything about gender because gender and sex are different. Gender has a different definition
they're
than
not.
sex. Science tells us that gender and sex are
congruent.
different, and I said that. Science tells us that they run parallel, but they are not the same. Being parallel to each other or congruent is not as being the same. It does not mean that they are the same. I'm so glad that we had this talk and you ran right into the point. Thank you. for
No, I
listening.
didn't.
I'd just
Run
like to
into
point
anything.
out that I'm sorry. I would just like to point out that his argument was, but I don't like that one.
No, it's not that I don't like that one. It's just that one's irrelevant to people.
No,
It's
not,
irrelevant to you, not to the
so I
definition of the
don't-
word, and not irrelevant to science.
So
No, it's
essentially,
not a
I don't
scientific
like that
fact.
one.
It's not proven.
It is proven. It is proven. That's why science uses it.
It's
That's
like
why science
it's more
tells
like
you
a
that they run.
pseudoscience. It's like
It's
theory.
not a pseudoscience. You can okay. You know what? Let's go back to this.
Yeah.
What I stated earlier.
I love
You're
how
allowed
everyone
to
just-
feel your feelings. Like you're allowed to feel how you feel.
It's not
But your
feeling.
feelings do
That's
not
not feeling.
negate
That's
the
what the world
scientific
sees.
facts. That's what you see.
It's what the world sees.
It's what you see,
Men and women
that's
are
okay.
completely different.
That's
Men
what
and
you
women
see,
are completely
and
different.
that's
Just
okay
because
that you feel
a
that way.
certain way,
We're far
It's
more
okay that
similar
you feel
in
that way.
just because men and women are completely
I'm so glad that you
different.
feel that way. I'm so glad you feel that way,
Physically,
and I hope you find people
mentally.
that share the same ideology as you, and then maybe you could host your own live with those people, and you guys can have a powwow about those feelings, and you can spread that information. All that you want to do, go do that. I hope you find a community that supports you.
It's irrelevant to me. Just means I don't like it. So that is the Oxford definition. And
Oxford. That wasn't Oxford. That was not
Yes,
the
it
Oxford
was.
dictionary.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Sex
Yes,
was the
it
Oxford
was.
Dictionary.
That was the
Sex
Who.
Sex was
that
the
was-
No,
Oxford
that was a
Dictionary.
resource.
I gave you a resource. Sex was the Oxford Dictionary.
Where-
the definition of sex is
Where's
the
the
Oxford
actual
Dictionary.
definition of man and woman? Show me the
Oh my
actual
God, that
definition
was
of
the
man and
Oxford
woman. Show
definition.
me.
Use the definition that applies.
No,
That
it wasn't.
was the
That was
Oxford
Who.
definition.
That was the Who.
No, the Who was linked
It
as
was
a
the
resource. No, Oxford.
Yeah,
linked
don't show me the
Who.
resource. Show me
we,
man and woman
Is
definition.
it even worth having a conversation with you? Because you
It's just talking over the entire time.
that was the Oxford definition, and it used Who as a resource for their definition.
No, that wasn't the Oxford definition.
Buzzy, can you pull it back up and zoom in on the part where it says Oxford languages?
I don't know if Buzzy's still with us.
Do you want me to go get the definition of man and woman and show you what it says?
Yeah, no,
You
I'm
didn't
here.
even
I
have
was
what it
I was
said.
screenshotting the definition of gender from Merriam-Webster, so we can do Merriam-Webster at Oxford.
No.
For
Man
gender.
or woman?
You specifically were
Man
talking
or
about
woman?
gender. We're talking about gender. Man and
I know
woman would be a
you are the
gender.
ones talking about gender. I said
You
man,
keep
woman.
trying to win this argument. There's just no way for you to win, and this shouldn't be an argument.
There's a
This is
specific
stupid.
definition for man. There's a specific definition for woman.
There's multiple definitions for woman. There's
Literally.
multiple definitions for man. You're the
That's
one
just not true.
ignoring definitions that you don't like.
What makes your definition?
No, I'm just not feeding into your way of thinking.
You mean
I don't have to
what
feed into your way of thinking because that's
what
how
makes
you
your
feel.
definition the right one?
What?
What makes your definition the
What
right
makes
one?
what?
All the others wrong.
Because it's been the definition for years.
Because it's
like
been the
centuries.
That's some kind of fallacy. I don't know what kind.
Centuries, years.
I forget the name of the fallacy. It's a fallacy that applies to historical precedents. Yeah. So,
I mean,
regardless
like,
of what you feel,
if
the Oxford Dictionary is a reputable dictionary, and it aligns with the APA, the AMA, the NIH.
I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. How do I explain it? So it's like, I don't want to be mean or like not nice about it. Like I'm very, very cordial when I talk. I'm not trying to like gaslight us. But I'm just saying, like, I think when I go and read stuff and it says man, adult human female, or I'm sorry, adult human male, and then it says woman, adult human female. In the next line, if it says
Adora, may I have
anything
the big screen
different than
again?
that, it's a contradiction of the original definition.
No, you can build on a definition. Yes, a woman can be an adult human female, but not all female can also.
This is by the WHO again. That's what I mean.
No, it's by Oxford
It is. It
Dictionary.
says it right there.
It does say it right there. I know, because the WHO is a resource for the definition.
Why can't you
written by
just use
Oxford
the dictionary and not a resource? Why can't you just use the actual
dictionary is
Oxford Dictionary?
Okay, this is Merriam-Webster. Gender, a subclass within grammatical class, or is that what we're looking for? The subclass of grammatical class of language?
Yes, it says so. If you pull it up on Merriam-Webster's, it says a subclass within a grammatical class or of a language that is partly arbitrary but also partly based on distinguishable characteristics such as a shape, social rank, manner of existence, or sex, and that it determines agreement with or selection of other words in grammatical eras. And if we put on the screen the Oxford Dictionary,
it says smacks.
It does say that, but it also says other things. It also says other things.
Oxford, OED is Oxford, says in some languages, as Latin, French, German, English, each of the classes typically masculine, feminine, neuter, common, of noun and pronoun distinguished by the different inflections which they have and which they require in words of syntactically associated with similarly applied adjectives. And this goes back to you saying we don't need adjectives. Anyways, and then when we pull up the Oxford Dictionary references, because I got that too, I figured this will come up. Okay. Oxford Dictionary references. It talks about the culturally shaped expression of sexual difference, and then it says gender is the distinction.
Why does everything you pull up different than what I do?
I don't know, but you're
I don't
allowed to say
understand why you
your
can't just if you just type in woman,
Adora, can you blow me up?
then you look at the definition. Just type
Fine,
in
I'll
woman.
bring that up too.
Don't look up just type woman.
The male sex or the female sex, especially when considered with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones, or a range of other identities that do not correspond to established ideas of male and female. So yes, non-binary does exist.
Okay, that's
also,
what gender says. What's woman say?
Yeah, woman
so then
says. Hold on.
So then let's go back. Oh, go ahead.
Type in woman.
Oh yeah,
Type
I
in
have.
woman.
Man,
Show that one.
Stop. I can tell you exactly what it says. Adult human female. I don't even need to go past
itself.
that. No.
No, the definition that I just pulled up told you that gender is a distinction of sex.
Man, what is the definition of female?
Jesus Christ.
Female is a able to reproduce
No.
with eggs.
No.
Yes.
That's not the definition of female.
Yes. A female is with female reproductive organs, and that's how they reproduce.
Where are you getting that
That's a
definition?
female. I'm
the definition of female.
Spitballing it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. Something like that.
It's not. It doesn't say that.
The definition of female, I'm pretty sure it says that.
And yes, this is an appropriate use of "nah" because no, it doesn't say that.
What does female say then?
Maybe
eggs.
Maybe if you would let people fucking
I said
speak,
eggs.
you would get an answer. Shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
I was right. I just
speak.
wanted to tell you I was right. That's all.
Right. No, you missed the first part. Of or denoting. What does denoting
I was just
mean?
pretty much right, so.
No, you just pretty much weren't.
just pretty
What does
much
denoting
right.
Not
mean?
been right. You have not
You tried
been right.
to say I wasn't, and I
What does
wasn't.
You were not
denoting
right.
mean? Man, what does denoting mean?
Denoting?
Denoting. Of or denoting.
Isn't that like, denoting would be like similar, congruent, right?
Similar,
Of the same.
congruent. Similar or congruent, or to signify something. To signify something, you have to be doing something socially, right? For someone to signify something, they have to do something socially.
No, that's not true.
Okay, give me an example how that's not true.
Because you're talking about like what? If I walk down the street, people would.
No.
I'm signaling that I'm a guy. No, that's not.
Well, yes, you're signifying because you are presenting yourself in a society.
Correct.
By going out into a society, you are automatically doing something social.
Right, and I'm never questioned about if I'm a guy or not. So why do I need
That's
an
great
adjective to
for
describe
you.
I'm a guy?
That is so great for you.
Not everybody shares that same experience because not everybody shares that same experience because androgyny exists.
Put the label
and
trans.
also, that's why you have cis because cis means on the other. Which is why you have cis, which means on the other side. If you are not trans, you are cis.
Trying to tell you.
Cis has to be used because it's another way of stating that if you are not trans, you are cis. This is a weird argument that you're making, and at no point has you ever proved your argument to be accurate. You can feel your feelings. If you're going to not use that word in your language, you're able to not use the word in the language. But as we've just showed you, all these definitions, it is a feeling.
Then prove your undeniable truth. Prove the undeniable
prove your truth.
truth.
Yeah, prove your truth. If you can pull up sources as we just did, go ahead and do it. We have time.
And don't ignore
we just pulled up the definition. We just pulled up the definition I wanted them to. Adult
We did,
human female.
and
Them.
it tells
then
you
you-
that
and then
it's
it- and
of
then-
or
hold on.
denoting. It says
Them.
of or denoting because denoting is a word that has a
Hold
meaning.
on.
Definitions have meaning, and it's there specifically for a purpose. And I could pull up the definition of female. I have it as well on my phone because usually everybody says that. So it's an uncommon question to be asked. There isn't an argument to be had here. This is weird. You cannot use it in your language if you choose to. You are allowed to feel that way. However, that does not negate what science says.
You're going to be splitting hairs? You're going to split
Nobody's
hairs with the word
splitting-
denoting to say that's why?
It's not splitting hairs.
Wait,
it's in
it's not
the
splitting
definition
hairs.
for a reason. It's there for a purpose.
All right, let me ask you this.
So why are
sometimes
wait,
there's
no,
like very-
actually, let me ask you this. Why are you ignoring parts of definitions?
I'm not ignoring it.
Okay.
I'm not ignoring it.
You are.
But
Because you're saying that part
because
is
You
just
most
splitting
certainly are
hairs.
ignoring it because it doesn't agree with you, and you're
Because
looking
there
for the
are-
portions of it that agree
there
with you, which
are-
is crazy.
there are masculine women. There's women that portray as masculine.
Right, and then
Androgyny
we can look
exists.
towards look towards the other.
So because
I'm sorry.
because
We can
they're
look towards the
denoting
other.
masculinity. Because they're denoting masculinity, you think that we shouldn't call them a woman?
No,
That's not what that
it's not
says.
based on your opinion. That's not what it says.
Exactly.
That's not
So
what
you-
that
you're
says.
misinterpreting.
It's talking
somebody-
about. That's not what that says. The definition we pulled up was specifically for female. It says of or denoting a certain characteristics. We know that androgyny exists. We can pull up the definition of androgynous. You have no pathway to win this argument. This should not be an argument. As it's been stated earlier,
There is a good
you are
pathway to it.
entitled to feel your feelings, but that does not negate what
No,
science
it's not
is
a
telling
feeling.
you, and that does not
There's
negate
not
the
a feeling.
definitions that we just put on here. This is weird.
Yeah.
It's you're going
So-
in circles because you refuse to see the truth, and we put it up on the screen for all the people in here watching with
No,
you
it's
to
not.
look at. Like, nah,
You're
is
being
not a valid
disingenuous with
argument.
wording.
No, you're being disingenuous
You're being
because
very
you don't know the
disingenuous with
definition of
wording.
words. You don't know the definition
That's
of
not
words.
true.
Yes, it is,
Interrupting
and that's
is also
okay.
disingenuous.
It is true.
Interrupting and
That's
talking
okay.
over people is also disingenuous.
Like,
I
it's
agree.
very true that you don't know the definition of words. It's okay.
You agree, so you're being
No,
disingenuous.
it's not very true. You're taking definitions and trying to like make them something they're not.
No one took
No.
definitions. We put them on the screen and read them word by word. We did not change or deflect
So-
any of the conversation being had.
Literally, you
have.
just don't like what you're
Then
hearing.
can I ask? No. I just want to ask you a question then. And then, if a woman is a adult human female, how could it be anything else?
How could a woman be anything else? There are other definitions that are more accurate, I think.
Well, not that they're more
because
accurate.
you
Not that
think
they're more accurate. The way, no, not because we think they're more accurate, because of the way the dictionary is written and the specific standards that the Oxford Dictionary holds for how they write definitions. So if they have like number one, this is the definition, and then under that they have bullet points, it is an expansion on that definition. And then they'll put a number two if a number two applies.
And then sometimes they have expansions on number.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have
Okay.
expansions on number twos and they add number threes, so it is expansive. And then sometimes, because there is an original version of a dictionary that was written, usually in the 1700s or the 1800s, they will put who wrote that definition, and then they'll talk about how it expanded and why it changed. Specifically in Oxford, I don't know that Merriam-Webster goes back that deep, but Oxford on the website allows you to do so.
So if you go to a library, right, and you find their dictionary, that's probably the most accurate dictionary because it's a lot bigger. They have the bigger dictionaries that can be more specific. If you have a pocket dictionary, it's not going to say everything. It's going to be more general. So like go to a library, find their dictionary, and read it there. It'll say the same things that we're saying.
I don't understand how you can take one definition that literally is strictly about adult human female, and it is clear cut. There's no other words in there.
It's not strictly about it.
It's no other words in there. There are no other words. Adult human female. You can't
there are other
go
words.
under it and say could be a male too. that doesn't work.
There are other
that's
definitions, and it tells
contradictory.
you that words and language are expansive. If you're angry that words are expansive, I don't know what to tell you because society expands. Again, you can feel your feelings, but that does not negate fact. Do you have another point that you would like to talk
So
about
why
so
do
we
we
can stop
have the
going in
difference?
circles?
Then
Yeah,
why
at
is
this point, I don't see why we're
why is there a
continuing.
difference?
Yeah,
Choose-
can you blow me up one more
choose
time?
Why is there a
Another-
difference? But then why is there a difference between men and women then? Why do they even have definitions for them?
Because
If you could just be whatever you want, why would there be a
here's
definition?
the definition of woman.
Whatever you want.
Here's the
Why don't we
definition
just call
of
ourselves
woman.
human?
Man bag, you gotta stop and listen for a second.
Here's the definition of woman. I'd like to show you that it is from Oxford. Adult human female being. Oh wait, there's more. A female member of the workforce, a female person associated with a particular place, activity, or occupation. A female adults in general. A disrespectful form to address a woman. Dated, a female person who is paid to clean someone's house and carry out other duties. If you swipe a chat away, you see a person's wife, girlfriend, or female lover, and then you see a person with the qualities traditionally associated with female.
Nowhere in there did it say you could be a male.
It actually did.
Oh
A
my
person with the
God.
qualities traditionally associated with
That's
being
what you
female.
that?
It does not.
Association.
It
Association
says
is by
association of
default
quality.
social.
Correct, association.
Just because you assert yourself to something does not mean
Association.
Not assertion, association. Not assertion, association.
What is the root word? What is the root word in associate?
All right, guys, I'm gonna start a poll. Give me a second here, guys. Everyone vote in the poll when I get it started.
Man-bag, what is the root word of associate?
associate.
Yeah, what's the root word?
What is it? Associate. So you just, I don't know what you mean. Associate is its own word.
No, it has root words.
Huh?
As is a prefix. Eate is a suffix, and soci or soak is a root word, meaning social.
Okay.
All right, guys.
So
Poll
what's
is
that
up, guys. Poll is up. Everyone vote in the poll. 60 seconds
That
to vote in
means
the
that woman is a social term, not a biological one.
Female is biology. Female is sex. Sex is biology. It's not splitting hairs, as we talked about earlier, and you agreed. Gender and sex are not the same. They are parallel or congruent. They are not the same, but they run concurrently.
I didn't agree.
They are different.
I didn't agree that.
You definitely agreed because when we put up the definitions, you then tried to say, well, they're congruent. And I said that I initially told you that they were parallel, which is congruency. So you did already agree to this point. And again, we're not going in circles.
No, I didn't.
So pick a different
said
subject.
That. I did not say that.
No, you definitely said it. You're the one that brought concurrent into the conversation because you thought congruent
No, I
was
said they're
something different than
congruent,
parallel.
meaning they're like aligned. They're the same.
That's what parallel means. They're not the same.
Female woman is almost identical.
Me and Bag, the people have spoken. They want you kicked. Have a good one.
No, they didn't.
Did he just say no, they didn't?
Yes, he did.
Could he not see the poll?
All right.
Oh my god. Nuh-uh.
Stop. Guys, don't forget, we are raising money for a family in Palestine. Shadi Alaikaluk and his family are trying to raise 30,000 euros to escape Gaza safely. And 100% of the gifts that I received today and 100% of the cash apps I received today will go to this family. It's Adora followed by 4 ones. Adora 1111 on Cash App or Venmo. Hello, Anonymous. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I'm 25.
25. Fantastic. What are your thoughts on the topic?
So I was here earlier and I've been waiting for a while. And sorry if you hear my little ones in the background.
I just wanted to hop on earlier from what Hot Dog said that, and this lady was just really interrupting him. So he was right that cis did stem, stem from Latin, but it was first mentioned in a German sexology book in 1914. And that was in the first language ever was German that it was brought up. And then it wasn't brought into English until 1994. But it was first spoken about in 1914.
Right. German often aligns with English. Cis, like I forget, cis 4, I forget what the name of the chemical is that uses cis, but that is the same word in German and English.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Wait, so we agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because you were right, and the lady was just interrupting you, and I was getting irritated, and I was like, okay, I just want to come on here and back you up.
Okay, awesome. I thought you were trying to say something else. My bad.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's my first time on a live, so I'm like nervous, and yeah.
It's okay. Thank you, Anonymous. Appreciate you. You have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, keep tapping that screen, guys. 50 taps per person. We're going to bring up the next guest right now. I am doing a Adora duo live tonight. It's going to be just Mel and I taking on opposition. It's going to be Halloween themed at 7 p.m. Eastern. And yes, we are both doing separate fundraisers. I am raising money for this family, and then Mel has a fundraiser that she's running as well. Hello, Digital. How you doing?
Hey, how are you? I'm not opposition. I am she, her. I'm a black woman, and I'm over 21. So, Buzzy, you didn't catch the female reproductive system moments that he said, because I always feel like we allow them to make a distinction that even when there are certain women who also don't have a uterus anymore, are they no longer women? Also, that there are women who are born without their eggs. Like, there are things that he said that I felt like we need to course correct people about. Now, when I say we, it's just me feeling this way. Catching people when they do that, because they're trying to minimize our identities to our reproductive system. When women, the women framework is social, the system of which we may be able to give birth has a lot to do with whether or not we come out with all those without other male parts. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm probably not saying it right.
No, I think it's a valid conversation to have, that, everybody that identifies as woman is valid within their womanhood and whatever their womanness means to them, and not specifically just valid because of their reproductive organs, because we know that there are a lot of women walking around with all kinds of things going on in their bodies. That is between them and whatever deity it is that they believe in. I think for me personally, I only have those conversations when I feel like the person I'm talking to has the ability to engage in those conversations. And when that person first came up, the first thing out of their mouth is that we don't need adjectives. Their reasoning for not using cisgender is that we don't need adjectives. That was their initial statement. And then for the rest of the conversation, they didn't have the ability to read definitions that we were putting up on the screen, because the definitions did not agree with them. And then the argument they were making was then nah. It became nah, and non-binary people don't exist. And when the definitions show that non-binary people do exist, still the argument was nah. So I didn't feel like that guest had the capability and the depth to have a conversation that requires nuance and understanding.
I'd also just like to point out that I did in some way counter that claim by not by saying it outright, but by saying that describing how woman was a social term.
I caught you on the social term part. I caught all of that, but I feel like maybe sometimes, and you're right, Buzzy. I know, like, even having the definition conversation is, in my opinion, way too above their heads, because they don't even know what the definitions are, and they don't even read them properly. They don't even know the definition of most of these words, and I get that part too. But I also think that because they're operating from such simplistic, basic, third grade level intellect, that if they use those examples, in my opinion, to counter the argument, it's just like counter that part of the example, because they have nothing else to go on. It's just my opinion, Buzzy.
No, I think that's fair, but I also think like an example of kind of like that what I was saying would be the people in the comment section. So I stated all of why I wouldn't go into depth with a person that was making such an argument. And in the comment section, there was, "Oh, Buzzy, you're a know-it-all, aren't you?" And then there was, "Who are you to say a person doesn't have the capacity to learn?" At which I didn't say they had the capacity to learn. I said they lack the nuance to be able to have a conversation based off of the statements that they were making, right? So like that in itself, sometimes I definitely pick and choose my battles depending on the conversation being had and whom I'm speaking to. And with the sake of his entire argument being nuh-uh, I was just like, well, there's no need to go deep down this rabbit hole.
All right, guys, so I'm a little bit limited on time. I do need to get another guest up here before I end. Digital, do you have anything else you wanted to say?
No. That was it. And thank you, Buzzy. I do appreciate the way that you come at this. And also, I just want everyone else to understand, like this comment that you just said about like whether or not she understands other people's capacities to get somewhere. Yeah, it's so funny because most of y'all don't believe that Black women have the capacity to do anything. So please stop and be quiet. I'm done. Thanks.
All right, have a good one. Thank you for coming up. Okay, probably one more good conversation before I have to end, guys. And I do need a break between tonight's live and today's live. So, and I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing in between these lives today. Hello, Phil. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. How old are you, please?
I am 30 years old.
30. Fantastic. What are your thoughts on the topic?
So I've just over the last couple of days actually been joining these lives mostly for a self-educating reason rather than to come in and argue or debate or whatever. And I saw the title here, "If you're not cis, you're trans." When I first had that thought, it seemed kind of like a no-duh situation. But I think it's possible that maybe I'm not fully understanding the title. So if you could, can you say that to me in a different way?
Sure. Right. If cisgender and transgender are more or less opposites, cisgender means that your sex assigned at birth and your gender identity align. Transgender means that your sex assigned at birth and your gender identity don't align. So if your sex assigned at birth, if you're not cis, you're trans because they either align or they don't. There's not really an in-between there.
Yeah, so I guess what could someone's argument even be? Is there anyone who disagrees with that?
No, constantly.
Yes, there was a guy on here a moment ago that just said that he is not cisgender because we don't need adjectives.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I mean, just by like definition, he's cisgender, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So he just refuses to acknowledge anything studied past like caveman era, is what that sounds like.
Another common argument is that, I'm just a woman. Well, yeah, sure. This isn't making you not just a woman. It's just describing your relationship with your sex and your gender, which is sometimes a relevant thing to do.
Yeah, I get that. And something I found just kind of by having these conversations and listening to them, there's levels to it, right? So you can just simply say, I'm a male, but if you dive a little deeper into it, you see that there are more categories than just that. So you identify, just to be more specific, like cis male. And again, I might be speaking incorrectly because I'm not fully perfect with the verbiage yet, but I know. I just kind of wanted to jump into the convo. I didn't have anything profound to add really. I just kind of like jumping in and.
Appreciate you, Phil. I'm going to drop you down and get the next person up, but thank you for coming up.
Cool. Thanks.
Bye. Guys, if you are new to my page, this is my backup page. If you're new to my page, say hi in chat. And if you're a follower of either my backup or my main, say Grayskull in chats.
Can we all just agree that nuh-uh is never a valid argument? And it's why it's just like, hello? Nuh-uh.
Hello, Cassie. How you doing? Casey or Cassie?
I have a question.
Sure. How old are you first?
18, January 2006.
Fantastic. All right, go for it.
What happened to people who don't identify as any gender or sex?
No.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, when someone doesn't identify as any gender, that would make them agender, and that would in fact be transgender, because if your assigned sex at birth isn't going to be it's going to be either male or female or intersex, and agender is not something that is typically that someone is typically expected to be, so therefore an agender person would be transgender.
But what if they don't want to be any transgender or change their gender? They just don't want to be any gender.
It's not
because
you don't want to have a gender or to not have a gender. You either do or you don't. Will I ever tell a transgender person that they have to use the word trans? No, I won't. If an agender person doesn't want to call themselves transgender, I'm not going to tell them that they have to. But purely, an agender person is transgender.
What is non-binary?
Non-binary is an umbrella term that means that you don't fit into the binary of man or woman, or you're somewhere in between.
But wouldn't trans be just changing your gender from male to female or female to male?
No, trans means on the other side. So when we read words that are based in Latin or Greek, especially medical terms, we read them backwards. So like. I'm trying to think of another example. Hydronephro.
Transylvania.
So gender on the other side of sex would be transgender. We're implying sex.
So, Cassie, situation here is which question are we trying to answer when we use the term? The question that we're trying to answer with the terms cisgender and transgender is, does your sex assigned at birth matches your gender? If the answer is yes, then you are a cisgender person. If the answer is no, no matter where in the spectrum it is, you are a transgender.
I identify as a black male.
Okay.
Did I miss
That's
something? Because Hot Dog's face just made a face. What happened? I walked away for a second. I came back to Hot Dog's face.
As soon as it got too hard for her to make rebuttal, she's like, well, I'm a black female, or I identify as a black female.
Oh, so a phenotype. You identify as a phenotype that you don't have? Phenotypes are not... So let's just level set. Biology is not a phenotype. Gender identity is not a phenotype. Color of skin is a phenotype. Phenotypes are not identities. Get a grip.
Also, race is not a thing. It's purely sociological. There is no biological basis for race.
I would disagree with that. I would say race is biosocial rather than psychosocial with gender. So because phenotype is part of the social construct of race, there is some level of biological understanding.
I understand where you come from, but it's not a good idea to use this situation because usually the more that we try to divide human beings, it tends to not go well on this situation. So we usually in biology say, yes, we have phenotypic adaptations that come from our genetic inheritance, but we don't use race at all because it's such a loaded term and it has such propensity for going towards the bad side of things that we say race is not biological. We have inherit ethnicity traits that comes from our genetic background, and that's it.
I just heavily disagree because race can play such a role in somebody's identity
Yeah, that's what I say. We leave this situation for the sociological side of things in order to keep
Right.
because
to hold this argument.
Hot dog is to say that if we give leeway to people to argue that race is a biological background, we give leeway for eugenics. So no. It's like,
yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, same pathway. So like, if you kind of like, I see where you're coming from, and science has made this argument before to see if they could prove it to be true, but unfortunately, each time that it's been done in study, it's led down this dark pathway that gives the authority to eugenics. And there are people that do believe heavily in eugenics that would make that societally harmful. It's one of those things. Like it's one of those things where you're coming from like a good place, and it does come from a good place, and it is something that science has tried to expand upon in earnest. It is slow-moving science because of the amount of dark pathways, and essentially they're not trying to give legal wiggle room to hatefulness.
So in scientific terms, we say that somebody has an ethnic background with certain genetic predispositions, and that's it. And we keep it that way.
Hi there.
Right, but hold. Right there, you just used biology. I'm just really confused because
it's related to one situation regarding medicine, and I will be quickly as I can. Adora, I know that this is very uncomfortable.
Okay.
It's very uncomfortable for me as well. Is that we can the main goal of medicine is to do no harm. It's to do the least amount of harm possible. So we only call the genetic background and the ethnicity of people when it's necessary and when it's for very specific situations. Like, for example, certain subpopulations of the human species have certain genetic predisposition for certain genetic illnesses. This is a reality. There are populations that are more insular, more isolated than others. But we don't use race because of how loaded the term race is and how it just resonates the whole discussion to eugenics and how it resonates for all of the mustache man followers and things like that. So we don't use it.
Now I've connected it.
Okay. Hello, new guest.
Hi, how are you?
Adora, you wanted to come up and say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to address that. The way that we know that race is not biological in any sense of the word is that, for example, in the United States, where we have only 5 categories for race, and for example, anyone with a phenotype that's darker skinned of African descent would be black. But when you look at South Africa, for example, let's say who would be considered black in the United States might be considered colored in South Africa, although they also have a category of black. The fact that we can see that race changes dependent on the social structure that a person is in, and throughout time, shows us that it's not biological. Even in the United States, although we currently have 5 races, at one point in time in the 1800s, for example, there were only 3 races. If it was biological, then people wouldn't be able to change races. We even see that, for example, in the early 1900s, there was a dark-skinned black girl named Sarah Rector who struck oil on her land. And although she was dark-skinned, there's no way she could be mistaken for white. In order for her to be able to ride on trains, the government deemed her as white. Race isn't just that we're different colors. Race is a categorization that societies use in which to group people together based on certain characteristics. In the United States, the way that Sarah Rector, although she was physically dark-skinned, was able to be white was because part of that characteristic was wealth. So it's not biological at all because people fit into different, last thing. Even in the United States, there was something called the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which in the 1800s made it so that it was a treaty with Mexico so that anyone of a Mexican descent would be considered white, so they can be considered citizens. So it's literally just a categorization that societies use to group people together, and it's not even always based on phenotype. That was it.
Perfect explanation, Adorno. Thank you so much.
Now it makes sense. I think it started making sense when you described that in medicine it uses ethnic background with genetic markers, or however you had phrased it, and then that's when it connected. And now that I know some more about it,
Yeah, and technically, even my own old genetics professor says technically we're all mutts, except very specific, very isolated populations. There's always a mix of very genetic backgrounds that every single one of us has. So it doesn't make sense for the human species. We're all mutts. We're all a mix and match of different backgrounds.
Well, thanks for having
race. Basically, makes no sense.
I'll hop down to the comments. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So much.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, guys, I am going to end this live now. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to be live again tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tonight is the Mel Adora Duo Live. It's going to be Halloween themed, just Mel and I taking on opposition. Looking forward to doing Halloween in May. We are both raising money for separate causes. Separate but similar causes. I'm raising money for a specific family in Palestine, and Mel has a separate fundraiser that she will talk about on her own that she is doing. So yeah, make sure to be there, guys. If you can reasonably give, that is appreciated. If you can't, just liking and sharing the live would be huge. It's going to be on Mel's account, not mine. It's going to be on Mel's account, not mine. Appreciate you all being here again. If you do want to show me some support, there's two ways you can do that. One is you can subscribe to my TikTok right up here. And two...
Adora. Spammer. And it's two really bad things.
All right. God damn it. Okay, yeah, if you do want to show support me, there's a few things that you can do. One is you can subscribe to my channel right here. Two is you can head on over to Adorable Rainbow Fist on Twitch, and you can subscribe to my Twitch account. For $5 a month on my Twitch account, you immediately get access to all my live replays. So if you missed this live, or you want to watch this live again, or you want to watch my old lives on your own time, head on over to my Twitch and subscribe. You can subscribe with your Amazon account as well. Yeah. See y'all tonight.
Get very soon, Hot Dog.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.